Afternoon everyone, Matt Soper here from Hampshire Carnivorous Plants, and what with all the interest with the Venus Flytrap from the current John Lewis advert, I thought I would give you some advice on how to grow them properly. I've been growing these plants since I was 7. I was captivated by the first one I'd seen on the television programme, similar to the little boy in the advert I suppose in ways, but there are do's and don'ts with them. They're not like a lot of plants, so I'll whiz through quickly how you should look after them. Now the first requirement for them is rainwater. Tap water invariably kills the plants. So if you get yourself a small saucer, something like this, with about 1 centimetre of rainwater in it, it's an example, and you just pop your Venus flytrap in the tray of rainwater. You don't water from the top, you just keep the saucer topped up with rainwater. And that's for the spring and summer months. So from round about March through until November, you just stand like this in a very sunny position, a very sunny south-facing windowsill, conservatory is ideal, or an unheated greenhouse, perfect. And just try and leave them alone. I know it's very tempting to make the trap shut, which I did with the first few trap plants I bought, and I lost them. The traps only shut a couple of times, and then they start to die or turn black in some cases. So if you can resist, just try and leave the plant alone. They will invariably catch your 1 or 2 insects on their own. They won't eat meat or pieces of cheese or chocolate. They will only eat living flies. So if you really must, you can pop a fly in there if it's alive and it will close. The plant can sense movement, start to clamp down on the fly and start to eat it. So don't be tempted to put dead flies in it, they just won't eat them. I find it better off just left in a very sunny position, porch or unheated greenhouse, and they catch flies for themselves. Now, in the winter months, the plants do start to die back. These are not tropical, they are herbaceous perennials. So it's quite normal for them to be turning black at this time of year. If you think about it, there aren't any flies about for the plants to catch anyway, so they just sort of pack up, rest underground, and they come back into growth in the spring. So if you've got any black leaves on your plants, just cut these off. You can see here, remove anything that's black or dying or dead. And this reduces the risk of getting grey mould on the plant. So this is in real time. I mean, it's the 15th of November today, so this is what we're doing with our plants right now. As I say, this is quite normal at this time of year. If your plants are going black in the spring, it's normally a sign that you're either making the trap shut and they go black, or you've been using tap water, or whoever sold you the plant was using tap water. So you want to make sure that you buy them from a reputable seller, such as us, Hampshire Carnivorous Plants, and we grow all our plants with tap water. That's basically what you do. Now another thing we've been asked quite a lot of is, what about the flowers? Well, this is one that's just coming into flower here. You can see it here. I find it's best to remove these. They will grow quite long. The flowers can get up to 1 foot long. The flowers are quite insignificant and relatively small. The plant uses a lot of energy putting this long flower scape up, and I find that if you remove the flower, the plant will produce more traps. This usually happens around about March, April time, but I was lucky enough to find one here. There's another one actually, with a flower on it. So we always remove the flowers from the plant. Once your plant gets to a fair size, you can allow it to flower and pollinate the flowers and collect seeds yourself, but they do need to be a relatively large size. Most plants that you find available for sale are in this sort of size, which is about a 3 or 4 year old plant. And at that size, it is best to remove the flowers from them. Never give them fertilizer. This can kill the plant. They grow in a very inert, very wet compost. We use peat here at the moment, but we are experimenting with other mediums to try and grow them peat-free. But at the moment, the most successful medium for growing them, to be honest, is peat. And yeah, that's the Venus flytrap. And I'll just recap over the important points. Rainwater, essential. Lots of sun, spring and summer, very important. A cold winter rest. I should have said this earlier actually, don't be tempted to keep it on a warm sunny windowsill all round. It will probably work for the first winter, but invariably the second year comes around and you lose the plants because they haven't had a rest, they haven't gone to sleep. They are herbaceous, temperate plants, so they're quite used to being cold in the winter. In fact, we've got them growing out in our bog garden outside here, and we grow them out all year round. In fact, we're going to have a quick look at those. Okay, here we are out in the garden. These plants are out all year round, and you can see our Venus flytrap here. It will remain out here over the winter in the bog garden, believe it or not. They're quite hardy. So, as in the John Lewis advert, they rightfully took their Venus flytrap out in the garden in all the frost. That's what you do need to do with them. They need to be very cold so they can go to sleep in the winter. Then they'll come back into growth the following spring. So if you're going to grow them outside in a bog garden, or grow them in a pot, in a sunny windowsill, or in an unheated greenhouse, I hope that's given you some pointers and helped you to grow better Venus flytraps. As I said, I did lose a couple when I started for doing the wrong things, like feeding them or using tap water and just not treating them correctly. So hopefully that's given you some pointers. Thanks for watching.